On this video, I'm going to be talking about productivity and the gap between productivity and leverage. Why productivity is so important and the best way to use leverage. So, hi, I'm Lucy, high flow coach and mentor. Productivity, this is one of my favorite subjects. You have productivity, you want to be productive, you want to get more things done in less time, and yet there's a gap between how productive you're being and how productive you want to be. And so then we're going to start to fill in those gaps. So productivity is your input cost, so that's your time and your energy, versus the output value. And that is your level of productivity. That's what it equals, your level of productivity. And so the easiest way to increase that productivity is to cut down on the time spent and to increase the value that you put into those hours that you're using, that you've put aside to do that thing, to do that project. And this brings to mind someone I was speaking to a couple of days ago. And he was saying how frustrated he was about when he was getting started in his business and he was actually coaching somebody. And this person was doing better than he was in his business. And he was getting really frustrated. It was like, I'm coaching this person and this person's doing even better than I am. Why is that? And the thing that he worked out was the difference between himself and the person he was coaching was the person that he was coaching was using, you've got it, leverage. And so when we want to make the most of that, it's understanding how to fill that gap, how to fill the leverage gap. So it's something that my parents used to say, actually. It's not the amount of something that you do, it's the quality. So it's quality, not quantity. That's something that's always stuck with me. So I think that's why this resonates so much with me. Quality, not quantity, but also finding ways to get that leverage and to acquire the leverage, because time is fixed, but leverage is infinite. You can find infinite ways to leverage what you do. So what is the best way to use leverage? One of the ways that you can leverage something yourself is to up level your skills. So if your skill gets better in a certain area, you're leveraging the fact that you can do things quicker and more easily because you've got a skill in that area. So maybe it is using spreadsheets and you're done this course and it's taken you some time to do this course, but now when you get a spreadsheet in front of you, you know exactly what buttons to press, you know exactly where to go on the application to make this thing work. So up-leveling your skill in that area will help you to get more done in less time. It'll be really great quality work because now you really understand how to use spreadsheets. Another thing is using systems. Now, when you're using systems, it doesn't have to just be a digital system. You don't think, oh, there's more money that needs to be spent. Not always, because it can be a simple system, just writing something down. So it can be non-digital. So a system while you're working might be, okay, I've just thought of something that I need to do. You're not going to go off and do it because now you're distracting yourself. So that's not a great thing to do at all. But what you can do is have a little pad of paper. I'm looking around to see if I've got one, but I don't. A little pad of paper that when something pops in your mind, you can just write it down on that pad of paper. Hardly thinking about it at all, just getting it out your head, putting it down. Now you can remember it, deal with it another time. So that could be a system. Can you see how those small things are going to start to add up? Another thing that you can do is definitely to prioritize your workflow. So when you're prioritizing your tasks, when you're prioritizing your work, you know the things that have got to get done. You know the things that are on your plate that you need to get done, whether you've given them yourself because you're an entrepreneur, whether your boss has given them to you because you're at work. So you've got maybe 6 things you need to do. What is the most important thing to do that is going to move the needle the most? It might not be the most urgent thing, but it's the most important thing, because sometimes that most important thing, actually, when you get down to the 6th thing, that last thing doesn't actually need doing at all. But then if you can get the most important thing done, maybe even the second most important thing done that day, that is more powerful than trying to work your way through the 6 and not getting everything done as well as you want to. So prioritizing your workflow and getting the hardest stuff done at the beginning of the day rather than leaving it to the end of the day or even in the middle is also going to help, because that's when you're generally switched on most, especially if you're an early bird or a third bird. That's on another video. You can check that out. But that workflow is really important, and chunking those times down and not making it too long, but also not overemphasizing how much you think you can get done in a very short space of time. Often we think, oh, that'll just take 5 minutes, and it actually takes 15. So be aware of that as well. So just be very aware of the chunk of time that you're leaving to do that thing. Don't make it too long, because we generally work to fill that gap, to fill that space. If you make it slightly less, then it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but I'm not. If you make it slightly less, then you know it's going to. So if you time something out and you're like, I know that spreadsheet, I've done something like this very similar before, and it took me 3 hours. Well, maybe because you've done it before, you could do it in 2.5 or 2.25 instead of 3, or 2 3/4 instead of 3. So try to get it done faster than the last time. And again, if you've up-leveled your skills, you may well get them done in 2 hours instead of 3 hours. So all of these things together will really start to add up, and they do make a massive difference. So productivity leads to motivation, because the more you can get done, it's like you feel more motivated. It leads to efficiency. So that's great. You're getting more done in less time. You're being really efficient with your time. And it leads to focus, and focus leads to flow. And when you're in flow, it just feels like it's so easy to do. So that high flow state is just a wonderful state to be in. And getting into that flow state makes everything else kind of go away. It's not there. When you're in that state, you're just totally blinkered. And make sure there aren't any distractions going on. That's another thing to really cut down on your distractions to help with your productivity. So no distractions from other people, no distractions from yourself, and no distractions from your devices. So turn off notifications. And then it's more enjoyable. The whole experience is more enjoyable, right? You're getting more done, you're moving faster. And then the magic of that is you've got more time to do what you want to do. So instead of taking 10 hours a day to work or 8 hours a day to work, perhaps you're only taking 6 or 7. And then the rest of the time is your own to do what you want to do. Go and see somebody, enjoy being with a friend, with your family, going and having a massage, something lovely that you want to do with your time. So there will be another video coming up on screen, so I'm going to see you over there. In the meantime, think of those things and remember it's quality, not quantity. So not, oh, I'm really, really busy. It's like, I'm really efficient. See you soon. Take care. Bye for now.